G'day guys, and welcome to another one of our podcasts here. Today we're going to have a bit of a chat about the Cats and the Swans, do the review of that one, which is round 16. Sydney got home by 38 points in the end, and Shorty and I both went to the game, which is on the Friday night. And I'll tell you what, mate, pretty salty ourselves, plus many Cats fans watching on. It was a dismal performance and a terrible way to go out in what was a must-win game for the Cats.
Yeah, pure salt, mate. We were not happy at all, and rightfully so. It was a really bad performance, and yeah, one of those games you roll up to going, this is a really big game. You sort of expect a good performance. You know, we expected a win. Certainly didn't expect basically a 6 or 7 goal loss on our home ground, and the manner it was too. Like, we got thrown around and smashed at the contest, and just, out-coached, outplayed, a lot of worrying signs. But, looking at the numbers, I mean, they're very even, which sort of highlights why numbers don't always tell a good story. I mean, we got off to a sluggish start, which is unbelievable how we can do that in such a big game. I guess the Swans were just more pumped up than we were, and we worked our way back into it. It was a pretty ferocious game. I imagine watching on as a neutral sport, it would have been pretty good to watch early. Like, tackling pressure was pretty intense. A lot of tackles laid by both sides. And, when we hit the lead in the second quarter, I thought, we've probably absorbed what they've got to throw at us. This should be, at the very least, pretty close from here on out. But then they lifted another notch, and, basically all it was, they had players behind the ball. Rampy obviously dominated, and they just pressured around the ball at a rapid rate, which made us kick in a hurry. And unless we were composed through the stoppage, which we weren't because we only had 2 good midfielders, then we'd kick hurriedly and they'd turn it over and rebound from there. I mean, it's obviously more complicated than that, but in layman's terms, that's what it was. Intense pressure, the stoppage, force a turnover and slingshot. So, that was where we were badly beaten. And I think looking across broadly of everyone out the ground for us, you couldn't really say we had many guys that could walk off holding their head high and say, I reached where I probably would like to. On a weekly basis, there were probably a handful of players you say. So, there was a lot of concerns, mate. I think, personally, I think there's such a reliance on too few. We've got so many guys that, me and you have talked heaps about these second-tier players, and we probably thought they'd lifted, the likes of Duncan, Guthrie, Motlop, Blitzard, Murdoch, those sort of players, even Lincoln McCarthy and Lane.
Yeah.
And we're just not getting much out of them at all. It's sort of no duck, all duck and no dinner, I think the saying is, mate. But, we're either one of the best sides in the comp or pretty average. And the question has to be raised too is when you look at it, the list on paper and who's out there, there is talent there to win a premiership, and we're just not getting the results. So the questions have to be asked as to why the result isn't reflecting what's out there. Is it a coaching problem? Is it a player problem? Are we overestimating what we've got? Interesting. So I'll pass it over to you, mate, but I'm sure there's plenty of aspects to discuss, and not many positive.
Not really, mate. You got all hutchy on me there. Just did we overestimate the list a little bit?
That's it, mate. That's it.
I do love that question. But fundamentally, the Swans came out of the blocks, and the last person you'd want kicking the first goal of the game is Kieran Jack, and we allowed him that somehow. He had a tough week all week, plenty going on in the press, and he's played his best game in probably 6 years. So it's quite crazy. He won the BNF in 2010, so he would have played pretty well then. And as you said, mate, left it down to too few. It's constantly Dangerfield, Selwood or nothing. And we really need to have a look at those second tier players and really maybe even go a bit cold or a bit hard on a few of them, and potentially even drop a couple. Obviously, Scotty will say you can't point the finger at anyone, but it is a multitude of players, and I think maybe you could punish the ones that have been not performing for weeks. Steve Mollop, maybe give him a spell in the VFL. Maybe even Tom Hawkins. It might sound pretty ferocious and nasty, but our guys just have to understand it's quite a privilege to play in the AFL, and I just don't feel like they're performing at the level they should be. Tom Hawkins just for weeks just seems to get under 10 possessions. He does get his couple of goals, but he's just completely out of the game and completely outworked by his opponent. I'm almost doing the chopping block, mate, but yeah. So
2 marks.
2 marks, really. Wow. Well, there highlights my point. Just not working hard enough. And that was a tone for the night as well. There was one contest where it was at half forward for the Swans. I think it was Colin Jasny. He had 4 Swans around him, and there was no Cats in sight anywhere to be seen. They had no support, and they easily took it out, as you'd imagine, 4-on-1. And that was a bit of a tone for a lot of the game. They just moved the ball far too easily and out of the contest crisply as you'd like, and it made our defence.
That got me out of my seat quite negatively, didn't it, Piers?
Yeah, no, you did. You had a few choice words to say, mate, and maybe warranted there. So, it was just one of those things where they would apply fierce pressure to us, and as you say, one too many handballs, and then they would cause a turnover or would kick it and get it turned over anyway because they've set up well behind the ball and it's an effective kick forward, for example. So there was a lot of that over the course of the night. The Swans outran us, which is crazy because they're not the fastest team in the world. And as you say, the numbers are pretty even. Like, we won the clearances by 1. The free kick count was us by 1, which seems ridiculous when you're at the game. But the efficiency of their clearances, were damning and made our defence look second rate. Kudos to Tom Lonergan, though, on Buddy, as he always seems to do well on him. But yeah, like, they had Heaney out as well. I feel like they had a few others out that were pretty critical to their forward structure. But as a good side, I think you just find options as the game progresses anyway.
Yeah, exactly. And never in the history of AFL has it been less important, I suppose, to have a key focal point because it's such a team game now and 18-man zones and all this. If you're systematically better than your opposition, it's almost just who can get on the end of the chain.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
It sounds pretty simple, and you'd always want a dominant big man come September for that bailout and, can win it off his own boot sort of thing. But these days, if you're beating a side around the contest and moving it and spreading it how you'd want to and, locking it in, controlling the stoppage by pressure, then you can get goals via, anyone other than, Frankel, Jack kicked 3, Papley 2, Towers 2, and then a stack of singles. So, yeah, it was well spread out by them. And I just think too, mate, that we have a great plan A, but if our plan A is shut down, we have pretty much nothing. It's really like, if you can shut down what we want to do, we drop away significantly. Every team has their plan A, but the very best teams can work on plan B for a quarter until they wrestle the momentum back. Play the game a certain style to either stem the flow and stop the bleeding, or we just seem to have no answer when what we'd like to do isn't happening. So that's a concern.
100%, mate. Yeah, I think it probably seems to be in our losses that we look very one-dimensional, which could probably coincide with your concept of only having one plan in mind.
And when we win, we look irresistible. Like watching the Dogs game in North, we were fantastic, and
yeah,
you'd have to watch the tape back from every angle and really dissect it to know what the little differences were, aside from the obvious player-by-player performance and raw numbers. But there must be real intricate details of what makes us a good team that sides can shut down. And, you know, there must have been, because there weren't too many visual differences, you know, that the team's pretty the same, the form guides, you know, it's not too long ago, but it's top four stuff versus, you know, mid-range stuff, so it's concerning.
Absolutely, mate. We're not too good after buys, which probably works against us. What we will find out, we're going to find out about a lot of teams in the coming weeks, but especially ourselves, I suppose. See how we get back on track. But we'll make that to sum up the fundamentals of the game, mate, and move into the votes. I think that's the next part.
Yeah, for sure, mate.
How'd you see it all?
Did you realise Paddy had 18 in the first quarter?
I was talking to my missus' dad this morning about it, and he said he was on world record pace with like 19 or something like. I thought that was unbelievable.
Yeah, crazy scenes, but he ended up with 34, and he was clearly our best, like by a mile. 3 votes to Dangerfield. I gave 2 to Selwood. You know, it wasn't his best game of all time. He only ended up with 23, but he did have 10 clearances, and especially early. You know, I'd imagine he faded late when the game was done and dusted, but early he and Dangerfield were influential. And I gave 1 vote to Lonergan for his job on Franklin. Franklin wasn't totally shut down, like he only had 1 goal, but he did work up the ground quite a bit. He took 7 marks and had a reasonable amount of the ball outside the 50, but he's not going to hurt you as much there. And, you know, Lonergan did the job. You know, Cockatoo was decent, Mackie was decent, and you know, that's probably it really. I can't think of anyone else who Enright was okay. Yeah, so there weren't a great deal to pick from. So.
Nice, mate. Nice.
Yeah,
well, Dangerfield stand out at 34 touches and the 6 marks.
Yeah.
He got 8 free kicks. He must have had 5 or 6 in the first quarter. 4 tackles and also kicked a goal to bring us back into it. Yeah, he's a beast around the contest, as we say every week, and just the way he started that game, especially with all those touches in the first quarter when it's hot, is just unbelievable. Just what we needed, and just he's always our best, which is it's good and bad. Gave it 2 votes. I'm still not fully sold on my votes, really. It's tough to say. I'll give him to Corey Enright. 11, he got 11 kicks, 19 possessions, 5 marks, and a couple of tackles and a goal, which was also important. He really does do quite well under pressure. I find he generally makes the right decisions. And it was a tough night, for just using the ball well, for us anyway. I don't know what was going on. We couldn't kick it full distance for some weird reason. Do you find that?
We were always hurried, really, around the contest. We were just, they were on us very quick.
Perceived pressure, mate. And I gave the 1 vote to Nakai Cockatoo. Got the 14 touches, 4 marks, and he also got 5 tackles and a goal next to his name. Really liked his pressure and endeavour around the contest, and that 1 play at half-back, which was amazing to watch. It's what we've seen him do. Grand final day might have been 3 or so years ago. Brilliant to watch on, and that inspired me a lot. And somehow, and I love the way he went about it. And he was probably one of the Cats players that could actually hold their head somewhat high.
Absolutely, he was probably the only positive I took out of the game.
Yeah,
that I didn't already know. So, yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, and Selwood and Mackie were pretty good as well, I thought.
Yeah, I think we pretty much agree on the rough handful of players. Yeah.
Nice, matey. And we'll move on to the chopping block, which I almost alluded to earlier, your segment. How are we looking at this week?
Yeah, mate, there's some serious questions, as you alluded to, a lot of question marks. And while Chris Scott will always say that it's not down to the individual, we're a collective midfield, a collective backline. The collective is made up by individual performances. I know it's a team game, but, you know, at some stage, individuals must become accountable, and there are too many blokes out there who weren't ready or willing to take ownership. And, you know, like you said, a message it's getting close to being sent. I reckon they won't do too many changes this week. I think they'll stay pretty strong towards, you know, the team that they've put out. But I think if we were to lose to Freo, if we were to lose to anyone, whoever we're playing next week, I think probably the message would be sent guys who should be taking more ownership and we expect more of and need a lift and have a look at themselves. Duncan, Motlop, Witsars, Guthrie. That's a bit harsh on Guthrie, but his last few weeks been poor.
Yeah, they have,
Ruggles, I think, is really close to being dropped. Murdoch is always on the fringe. Mitch Clark shouldn't have played. And Lang and McCarthy are doing absolutely nothing. So I think probably one of McCarthy and Lang will be dropped for Gregson. And, yeah, look, it's a lot of those guys are reeled off as midfielders and key cogs in that midfield machine, and they've got to lift. They simply have to lift because we expected them to take the next step, a couple of those guys, and probably most have taken a mini step backwards. They're not dropping off at a rate of knots, but when expectation meets reality, they've probably gone backwards on that sort of radar. So, yeah, I saw Kirsten kick 4 in the VFL. Menengola played again, but wasn't in the best. I think Holland Smith was around the best again, I think.
Yeah, nice, yep.
I think, yeah. So, look, there's not exactly options jumping off the page, but, I think instead of dropping some of those guys that I named, I think you put it on this week and say, go over to WA and show us what you've got. Wear the jumper with some pride and character and heart and lift, because if they keep performing at that mediocre level, then, we won't make top 4 and we won't be a threat in finals. But if they lift and play how we know they can, then we're a threat again. It's, our good is good and they're good every week, but our bottom 12, you can almost say, nearly half the side, you don't know what you're going to get sometimes.
Which is probably reflective in our results.
Yeah, that's right. And did I mention Blitzard? If I didn't heavily throw him in, he's probably been the most disappointing player of the year. That's a pretty big call, but I would say he probably is.
Yeah, cop that.
yeah. So, look, I don't know if you want to add on that a little bit, mate, but there's a lot of players who I rate and know can play good footy, but just simply have to put it on themselves, take some ownership, and lift, because we'll be nothing if they don't.
Yeah, well, that's right. I mean, you can't have Danger and Selwood just carrying the team as they basically have all year. But, look, our improvement in our A game will be based off whether those guys that are mid-tier improve or at least get to their best form come towards the end of the year. If that doesn't happen, you can just put a line through us immediately.
Yeah, that's right. That's a good point. Like, it is that time of year where at the moment it's concerning that we're not playing good footy, but it's not, the finals aren't next week. But, we've probably got 3 to 4 weeks where we really need to start turning things around in the lead up to finals and, trying to position ourselves as well as we can. So, yeah, the weeks are running out.
You sure are, mate. Your old man's not too optimistic about their chances.
Nah, it doesn't surprise me, but nah, it doesn't. He's always slightly more on the critical side of things than I am.
That's all good, mate. We'll leave it there for the old shopping vlog. Nicely covered up, matey. Big game next week. Up against the Dockers at Domain Stadium, so that'll be quite a challenging game. It's tough to get a read on Freo, and it's also tough to get a read on ourselves, to be honest. Look, genuine toss of the coin, really. I mean, I'm almost leaning towards Fremantle with our terrible away record, sort of. So, look, I'll tell you what. Since round 8, I've not tipped the Cats right. If I've tipped them to win, they've lost. If I've tipped them to lose, they've won. So I'll just say we're going to lose this week and just going to keep betting. Not betting. We're going to keep tipping against us, and hopefully that holds us in good stead. I think the Dockers they'll chase us just like other teams have, like the lower teams seem to. So I think I I'm just going to say the Dockers are just going to out-pressure us, outwork us. We're not going to take them seriously, which is ridiculous. But in saying that, I'm expecting us to win, so it's a really weird one, mate. Weird psychological one. I'll say the Dockers by a couple of goals, but I don't really believe that. What about yourself? Most convincing tip you've ever seen?
Alright, mate. Well, look, I'll be tipping Geelong. I mean, I can't really tip us with any great deal of confidence, but it's never easy in WA. But Freo they're a pretty bad side in reality, and aside from some outlying games against poor opposition, they've been incapable of kicking a good score. And our defence is fairly good. It's the least of our worries. So, like you said, I expect us to go over there and win. But again, the fact is...
We expected to win this week, or against the Swans.
That's right. More often than not, in most games, because of the quality of our list, it's more dependent on how we turn up than the opposition sometimes. That might sound arrogant, and it certainly wasn't the case Friday night, because Sydney are a good side. But I think, probably 13 other sides I feel we're better than.
Yeah.
But sometimes we turn up with this, mediocre, middle of the table attitude and application. So Freo fall into that category that if we turn up and play the footy we know we can, then we'll win. And if we don't, we might see another game like we did against St Kilda, where we made a team on their home deck and look out. So
that's it.
I mean, I don't know, mate. I guess I'll have to tip eventually when I do the old tips, but I'll probably tip us by sort of around 20 points or something. But a tip's a tip. Take it or leave it. As I said, I think it's dependent on how we come out, because if we let Freo get going, then they might. But if we clamp them down, then they could really fold, and we could have a big win. You just don't know.
Yeah, no, it's a great art of the unknown, that's for sure. But nicely summed up, mate.
Solid stuff, mate. We've covered a few good topics, I think. Really torn it apart as to why the Cats just aren't performing. We'll see how we go.
Beautiful, mate. Alright, so that's our review for this week, guys. The Cats and the Swans, with Sydney getting home by 38 points. Don't often lose down at the Cattery, but that's all good. Sometimes you do. So, that's it for us, guys. Feel free to give the video a like. Don't forget to share it around and subscribe as well for more reviews and tips as well. It'd be fantastic. Thanks for listening in, and keep clicking back for more. Catch you guys next time.